Today we're going to be walking through a 4-part assembly. The parts that we will use are going to be the angle 2x2x25, the aluminum C-channel 1x1, 1x2x1x25, and then lower down on your library we will also use the screw 8-32 and the nut 8-32 caps. You're going to drag and drop each of those parts into your Fusion file. The angle, the channel will need to be rotated 90 degrees in order to assemble it correctly. You'll also bring in a screw and a nut. From the assemble menu, you're going to use a joint, and I typically just type the J on the keyboard. Don't forget, anytime you see a little letter out to the side of one of these commands, that's a hotkey, and you can just type the J in this case and it'll start the joint command operation for you. So our first joint that we're interested in doing is going to occur right there. So if you'll notice, the area that I have highlighted here is the rigid joint. And every time it creates a rigid joint, it shows that little rectangular symbol right there with the 2 blue squares inside of it. Next, we're going to perform a joint with the screw, and we'll rotate around to a different view so that we can more clearly see how to align this correctly. So from the assemble menu, again, you could pull that command down, or you could just type J on your keyboard. And we're using some controls to position that screw exactly in the center of that hole right there. It doesn't come in automatically. If you want to adjust those joints after they are originally made, you're going to use your offsets. In this case, you can see I used an offset of 1.75 for the X, 2.625 for the Y, and negative 1.75 for the Z. So that particular configuration of offsets will place it directly in the center of that hole. And finally today, you will need to assemble this nut on the back side of the screw. And your joint origins, just as a reminder, need to be centers of each of these circular elements. So you can see where I'm highlighting on the nut first, and then I would highlight again on the screw later so that that joint comes out exactly correct. I'll walk you through that process very slowly. With the J command, we're going to choose this, and then we'll align it to here. And I'll show you the slider that you would need to get it in the exact correct position. And that is a 6mm offset for the Z. Once we say OK to that, save your work, and you have completed today's assignment. Don't forget, progress needs to be checked at the end of every week. Thank you.